Good morning. It's quarter to 8 in the morning on a Wednesday, pronounced Wednesday, even though it's spelled Wednesday. Don't know why. Anyway, I'm going to finish up this wiring here in the headlight. I guarantee it. And I'll do a first spin and maybe even a first start today, if all goes well. Of course, you know what all goes well, if all goes well means. So anyway, bike is, wiring's looking good. I've got everything laid out, bench is semi-clean, and I'll let you know how it goes. By the way, somebody asked about fuse. Here's a fuse. I put it here so that it could be reached underneath the seat assembly should they need to. And I usually put a spare fuse somewhere where they can get to it too. This is a waterproof fuse container. They come red because everybody knows every vehicle in the world nowadays is negative ground, so I put black covering on it so people will put it on the negative pole. Let's see if I can open this thing. I'll show you the inside. I can't do this by hand. I can't do this with one hand. Can't do it. Okay, so anyway, I put a 10 amp fuse in here. I test systems with a 7.5 amp fuse. I send them out with a 10 amp fuse. You do not need a 35 amp fuse, as the manual says, because the manual is talking about Lucas 35 amp fuses, which are rated 35 amps for a surge, which is way too much. And if you take a look at a Lucas fuse, an actual Lucas fuse, you'll see that it's 35 amps, but you rotate it a little bit, you'll see that it's really a 17 amp fuse. Right there on the fuse, it says so. 17 amps is even too big. 15 amp, 10 amp. This thing will actually run forever and ever on a 7.5, but I send them out with a 10. I have never had a problem with a 10 amp fuse on any of the bikes I've ever worked on in the last 20 years. Somebody might ask, well, what happens if you add driving lights or something heavy? Well, you fuse those things separately. You don't put them through the main wiring bus. So normal motorcycle, normal conditions, 10 amp fuse is all you need. Please don't put a 35 amp fuse in your motorcycle. Okay, I'm gonna get to work. All right, the wiring in the headlight is theoretically complete. I haven't done a smoke test yet, but I will shortly. I thought I'd show you a trick for sealing unused wires. Bare wires, unused wires, wires that are dangling bother people and scare people, and I don't blame them. So when I have an extra wire, like this orange wire is completely extra. It's just a wire I ran just in case I might have forgotten something. So at this point in time, it's extra. So I'm just going to take this wire, this little piece of shrink tubing, I bend it over, fold it back, put it right here. These three wires are the flasher in, left turn, right turn, out turn signals that are not being used, not installed, not on the bike. So there, I cut them to different lengths so they can't possibly touch, even though they're not live. There's nothing in them. They're empty wires. But I cut them at different lengths, put a piece of shrink tubing over the three of them like so. Now, the fun is what happens next. You heat these up. And then take a pair of regular old pliers and crimp the little tip that's hanging out. And that tells the next guy that that's an unused wire. It's not bare or hanging there for no reason. It's just an unused wire and there's no threat to him. Now up here, I'm going to do the same thing with these three wires. Okay, so these unused wires are now capped off and shouldn't cause anybody any problems. And these are the wires that come up from the back, connect all the wires that go to the high beam, low beam horn, starter, and kill switch. And then these are the wires that go to the headlight. So at this point in time, theoretically, I can just put all these wires up in here, hook up the headlight, and everything should work. That's a capital should. I'm going to do what we refer to as a smoke test pretty quick. I'll put a fuse in the bike and start testing the electrical systems. But first, he said, but first, on his way back to the ranch, I have to come back here. And now that I know the horn button was actually a grounding button rather than a 2-wire button, it's a 1-wire button. Now that I know for a fact that the wire back here, this purple one that goes to the horn, this applies ground to the horn, which means I have to pick up 12-volt power and run the 2 wires down to the horn, 12-volt ignition, and the grounding one that actually causes the horn to go beep, beep, beep. I'm going to do that now, at which time, theoretically, the electrical system should be complete. We'll find out. All right, so basically all the wiring's done. I'm ready to do a smoke test, as we used to laughingly refer to it in the lab. See what happens. But I decided before I plugged in the headlight, I'd check it, and found out that I've only got one beam. So this is a, yep, anyway, sealed beam. I'm going to go up and see if I can find a LED equivalent at the auto parts store. In the meantime, everything back here is done. Horn's wired. All the wires are in place. Batteries here. Ready to do a test as soon as I get back with this headlight. I might even stop for some breakfast. And in case you're interested, it's 9:30. So, got a lot accomplished. Okay, Kevin is here, and we are going to do live online a complete electrical test. And we're all set up. I put a new headlight in here. Boy, was I naive, by the way. I went up there to get an LED equivalent of this thing, and this headlight was about 25 bucks or so, and the LED equivalent was $100 more. So I didn't buy it. So this is a standard headlight. Okay, so anyway, we should have headlight, tail light, horn, ignition, and we'll even spin the motor, okay? So starting out, Kevin, turn on ignition 1 click to the right, and we should have ignition in right there, power. Down inside there.
Yeah, and then there. Got the fusing?
Good question. Now your fuse is in, huh?
Is it? Is it pushed in?
Yeah, it's in.
Yeah, it's in.
Okay, let's go back to the fuse. Well, let's do this. This is interesting. You don't have to take it out. These fuses have a touch point built into them. If you got 12 volts here, and you do not. 12 volts here, you do not.
Maybe we have bad ground on this.
Is this ground? Let's
Should be, but
you would
say
think.
Let's find something else.
Let's
It's often a bad ground.
hang on. Let's go right to the battery.
Yep.
Just don't mess around.
Ready?
Okay. And I go up to the. There you go. Don't you? You know, they just don't want to do it, do they?
Well,
Oh, you know that's going to fall off.
Ah.
It's going to fall off. Okay, you got 12 volts on both sides of the battery.
Yeah. So we just got a bad ground.
All right, so
So
turn the ignition switch on one position.
on.
We should have 12 volts there. Why do we not?
Let me turn it one more. See what happens. Got lights.
You got lights. Okay, go back one. Okay, there it is. You just
Yes.
the switch.
Yep.
Go to off. Okay, so turn it back on to ignition. Okay, go to ignition and lights. All right, now let's check high beam, low beam.
Right.
Okay, high beam, low beam, and do it again. Okay, good. Got the ignition, the indicator working. Give her the horn. Okay, that worked. Let's go back and check the tail light circuit. Tail light should be green. And well, you're going to do brake. All right.
You want the tail light? What do you
Yeah,
want to
go
do?
ahead and do brake. Do the front brake. Okay.
Good.
All right. Set it up.
Yep.
Okay. Can't do the rear brake because we don't have the linkage on it, but basically we know it'll work. This should be tail light now.
Had a little one of those Honda monkeys or whatever it is. Yeah, he's having fun.
I wish I'd seen that. All right, so let's see. This is tail light. You've got ignition. You've got lights on right now. So go ahead and turn lights off on the key.
Just to ignition.
There. All right. So basically that's it.
We're ready to spin the motor.
So we got headlight, high, low. We got horn. We got ignition, and we got tail light and brake light.
Yep, that's it, brother.
Ain't nothing else. Okay, at this point in time, we're ready for the first spin test on the motor. So you got the ignition turned on to the first position.
I will have it on. Put it on.
Okay, and push the magic button.
Is this the magic button?
No, that's the kill switch.
Let's kill switch. This is the magic button.
That's the magic button.
You ready?
Let me zoom in just for the heck of it. Okay, give it a quick push. Hello. All right, spin her up. Isn't that pretty?
It is.
You know what? I want to see if it'll spin with the ignition and lights on.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and give her a spin. Okay, good. Good. So now in park, it should not spin. Nope, it does not. Good. So park just gives you tail light. It would normally give you tail light and pilot light, but there's no pilot light installed in this headlight. That's matter of fact, that's this unused green wire. If anybody ever puts a pilot light in it or a light in the tachometer, is that tach or speed?
Just speedo.
The speedo.
Yeah.
If anybody ever puts
No, I'm a liar. It's tachometer.
is
Sorry.
it a tach?
Yeah, it is tack.
So there's no light in it, no way to put a light in it. So, but if you ever want an instrument light, this green wire is instruments. So at this point in time, we're going to close up this headlight, and then we're going to go on the other side and install the mag pickup for the ignition, and then run another test checking for spark. And how about them apples? That's pretty good. Okay, let's close her up. Okay, interestingly, installing that headlight in that shell was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Now, it's a Japanese headlight, and I've always found Japanese stuff easy to work with. This was not. It took the two of us, it took all four hands, let's say, holding all the bits and pieces together and getting tiny little screws installed, and it was just a bear. So anyway, it's installed. It's looking good. Yabba dabba, and go ahead and turn that's ignition. You're gonna check. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, you got ignition. 2 clicks. We have a headlight. We have a headlight, and we have a high beam indicator. Yep, we do.
Hang on.
Oh, the horn. We have a horn. And
What's brown?
yeah, you're going to go. Ground is red on that wire.
Yep, I've got it grounded with the battery.
Well, okay. Well, actually, go ahead and ground
ground
it here.
let's ground it there.
That'll
Yeah.
test that wire too. Okay, so red and brown is brake. I will operate the brake here.
Yep.
There it is.
Pretty good.
Okay. And at this point with headlights on, you should have power on the green wire, which is your tail light.
Yep.
We do.
We didn't mess anything up.
We didn't mess anything up putting the headlight on. Okay, so now we're going to put the mag pickup on the in ignition and spin the motor again and check for spark. And then we're going to get into the testing of setting the ignition timing. This is cool. This is a good day. All right, we've installed the mag pickup on the.
Of course not. We're not going to have anything.
Wait, did we not
Stop.
connect it? Let's hook up the wires. Okay, we're going to stop now and hook up the wires.
Yeah,
I guess installing it without the wires might work by proximity. Or...
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, we're stopping the video now.
Well, you know what I can do? You
Just wrap them around it and tie a knot.
yeah, that's what. Well, just clip just for the test. It'll take 2 seconds to do that, and you can fiddle with it another time.
You know, that's not a bad idea. We'll be back. All right, we're back. All we've done is wire the jumper these together. So this is not a start test or anything like that. This is just a spark check. And we're going to spin the motor and see if we got sparkles at the sparklers. And then call it a day because I'm beat. I don't know why, but
Because it's hot, and for us, it's humid.
Yeah.
And it sucks it out of you.
and I'm tired. So let's see. I'm going to turn on the key.
Okay.
Kevin's going to push the magic button. See if we spin.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, I got a spark achievement at Christmas.
Did you?
Oh, Lord, have mercy. Yes.
I couldn't see it. Do it over here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we got
That's a
spark.
good one.
So at this point in time, we set the initial static testing. I actually painted the stripe, the mark. And we're calling it a day. It's only 1 o'clock. It's been a short day. But like Kevin said, and I said, I'm tired. So we're going to call this a day, and we will probably try to do a first start tomorrow. We can do it on the ICU remote gas tank to the carburetors. And that's all we have to do is give it gas because we got everything else. We're in good shape. All right. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.